5-minute.
This is your 5-minute call with Cessalee Stovall.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is your 5-minute call with Cessalee Stovall. Today, get ready to laugh your little buns off because we have Christopher Sieber on the line. Now, if you don't know him, you are going to be in for a treat. His top 5 are as follows. Number 1, he's originally from St. Paul, Minnesota. Number 2, he went to AMDA for college. Number 3, he is an amazing actor, Tony nominated for roles in both Shrek and Spamalot. Done 10 shows on Broadway, including but not limited to Chicago, Pippin, La Cage, Into the Woods, Beauty and the Beast, and a whole bunch more, which will be listed somewhere down there. And his number 5 is that when he is summering, he and his husband spend their time on their private island on a lake. Anyway, welcome, Chris Sieber. How's it going?
Good morning.
Well, we'll jump right in with the questions. First question for you is, tell us a little bit about your journey from high school to college to where you are now.
I grew up in a very, very small town called Wyoming, Minnesota, which is northern Minnesota, kind of rural. It's only about 45 minutes outside the Twin Cities.
Okay.
There was only 642 people in my town, and there was really no outlet for me to do anything, and so the only thing I could do is put on shows in my living room. That turned into more and more until I got into high school, and I started doing the high school musicals, and then I had more teachers that said, here, get your butt to New York, and I paid my own way to get to New York.
Oh, wow.
I went to school, and then I started working like everybody else, you know, just little things here and there, and then before you know it, I've got 2 Tony nominations, and I'm on Broadway right now, so wow.
What was the breakthrough moment?
There was a show called Triumph of Love that I did on Broadway, and it was kind of my first big, like, leading role in a Broadway show, opposite Betty Buckley and F. Murray Abraham and Nancy Opel and Roger Bart and Kevin Chamberlain and Susan Egan, and there was a breakthrough just because I learned so much from the people that I was working with, and I learned then is like, it's not the schooling necessarily so much. A teacher can teach you things, but the only way you can really learn how to do what we want to do is by learning from other people.
So what is the most memorable moment you've had, either on stage, off stage, or just something that really stuck with you?
The memorable moment I think that I would go with was working with Mike Nichols in Spamalot. It was a big Broadway show where I played Sir Dennis Galahad, and it was so memorable because it was quite possibly the most fun I've ever had in my life, ever doing anything. Working with the cast that we had David Hyde Pierce, Hank Azaria, Sada Ramirez, Michael McGraw, Steve Rosen, Christian Borle, and me, and we're basically all improv people who love to just play and cannot wait for the set to break so we can do another show within the show, and that happened all the time, and we loved it. There was a moment when I'm on stage with David Hyde Pierce sitting right next to me on stage, and we are giggling, and we've been giggling for 1.5 years already, on stage in front of a paying audience, laughing our heads off and looking at each other and giggling. And I turned to him and I said, David, perhaps we should stop giggling. And he said, no, let's not. This is too much fun.
Okay, well, our question for you comes from our Twitter followers, and one of our Twitter followers wants to know, you've been nominated for 2 Tonys, both Spamalot and in Shrek, currently playing Miss Trunchbull in Matilda. So you've got all these amazing comedic roles, and we want to know, if you had to play a dramatic role, which role would it be?
My heart is always to make people laugh. I don't know if I could get away with it, and here's a story. I get standing room in 1988 to go see Phantom of the Opera. I'm seeing Phantom of the Opera. I can't believe this is happening, and this is what I want. This is my dream to do this. So 23 years later, I finally get a call. Hey, would you like to come in and audition for the Phantom of the Opera? Now, at this point, I've had 2 Tony nominations. I've done, at that point, I think I've done 9 to 10 Broadway shows already. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I'm gonna be the Phantom. So I go in. Now, when you're in an audition situation, you see people that you're going to audition with. You're going to see people outside the room where the creative people are, who are going to listen to you sing and or read. So I go in the room, and I'm me. So the creative people are used to hearing and seeing people who are so just really into it and intense and pull it down and dramatic, and I'm not at all. And I have the people behind the and these are the big wigs. These are the people that are running the skit. These are the cheese, if you will. So I get in front of them, and I am making them laugh, not because of my singing, no, just because we're talking. And we were talking, and I was laughing. They're laughing, their tears are coming out of their eyes. And I said, so, should we sing? And they're like, oh yeah, let's sing. Okay, fine. 15 minutes later, we start the audition. So I sing it, and I'm like hitting the I flat, B flats, and go crazy and knocking it out of the ballpark. And they're just like, that's amazing. That's incredible. That's amazing. Great. Anything else? And they're like, yeah, let's do one more. And I was like, great, no problem. I know all the songs. It's my favorite show. I'm kicking ass. Boom, knocking out of the ballpark. And after they come and shake my hand, they hug me. They're laughing and like patting me on the back. I leave the room. That's great. And I thought, well, I might be the next Phantom. My agent calls me and says, hey, they love you. They love you. I said, great, fantastic. Great, you're not getting the job. And I said, why? Because they were afraid you wouldn't be able to take it seriously enough.
No!
So to answer your question, I don't think I'd be able to do a dramatic role, especially not that. No, I probably could, but, you know, I always have to find the humor in everything I do, so that's all.
Gotcha.
Boy, these answers are long, aren't they?
That's all right. We're going to do the extended play version.
Okay.
For your 5-minute call.
Okay.
Now, the last question for you is, if you could give your 16-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
When someone is directing you or choreographing you, giving you notes, just take the note. I mean, the thing is, you may feel that the choice you're making is so great and so wow, I'm so brilliant. And the people that are directing you and giving you dance steps and or giving you notes aren't necessarily, most of the time, probably 99%, not out to get you and sabotage you and make you look horrible on stage. They're there because you can't see what you're doing. You can't necessarily hear what you look like, what you're doing up on stage. So take the note.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, it is Tuesday, so that means that you have a show to do tonight.
I do.
So we will let you prepare to become the fabulous lady that you are.
So much preparation. The hardest part is strapping on the fat suit.
Thank you so much for taking time for the 5-minute call, and we will catch you next time around.
Bye.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.